Hello, good morning to today's virtual STEM studio class. In today's section, we are, we are going to be talking about learning about animation. We are going to be dealing with the introduction to animation, both the 2D animation and the 3D animation. To start with, my name is Daniel Titilayo Mary, and I'm taking today's virtual STEM studio. Thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate. So let's move on to today's class. To start with, what is animation? From my slide, you can easily check the definition of animation. And animation is the process of giving the illusion of movement to drawings, models, or inanimated objects. For instance, giving illusions of movement to drawings or models simply means you trying to make either your drawing or your model come in a form of movement. You are animating it. Or inanimate objects. Inanimate objects means objects that are still, that don't have any motion or movement in them. Basic type of animation, we have the traditional type of animation, which is known as the still animation. We have we also have the the 2D animation, which is known as the vector based animation. We also have the 3D animation. The 2D animation consists of only just two axes, which is x and y. When you try to draw your graph at school, you have x-axis, you have y-axis. That's the 2D animation, because your graph can only go up and down, sides and side. Your graph cannot go 360 degree. It can go in a 180 form, but it can't go in a 360 degree form. That's why we call it a 2D animation, which is two dimension, which is 2D. On the other hand, we have the 3D animation, which consists of both three different axes: x, y, and z. In this instance, the object or model can easily move front, back, left, right, and can turn around in a 3 degree Celsius space. 360 degree Celsius rather. That's why we call it three D animation, which is three-dimension animation. Remember, the difference between 2D animation and 3D animation is that the 2D animation only goes in the x and y axis, which is up, down, side and side. It can rotate. But in the aspect of 3D, we have the object or model moving both x, y, z, which is up, down, sideways, and then can easily rotate. As you can see from my first image, which is a cartoon character, which is a cartoon or movie, we have the 2D animation of the movie and a 3D animation of another movie. If you check closely, the 2D animation movie looks more like a drawing. If you can notice, you can easily drop your comment section. You can easily drop your comment in the comment section. The 2D animation looks more like a cartoon character, but looks more like a drawing, except from the 3D. Because if you look at the 3D looks more like an human being, because it was given detail. There are some cartoon that are 2D form, but they comes in human likes, but they only move up, down, side and side. They can't turn around on one position. Also, from the second image, you can easily see different types of animation, different kind of cartoons in different kind of dimensions, either 2D or 3D. From this first one here, you can easily recognize that it is a 2D animation. The second one here, you can easily recognize that it's also a 2D. This one here, you can also recognize that it's a 3D animation. Moving on to this last one, you can easily recognize that it's a 3D animation because Number one, the first picture here, this one, number one, this first man's picture, you can easily check, you can easily see that the man expression is the one that is used to model these two cartoons here, using motion, using sensors on his face to get the expression they need. So the difference between 2D and 3D animation is that in the 2D animation, the characters only move up, down, side, and side. But in the 3D animation, the character move 360 degree, meaning they can rotate, they can move left, they can move right, they can move both in the X and Y axis and the likes. Now moving on, I explained this earlier, which is 2D animation, a product of animation created when two-dimension image are rapidly sequenced to create the illusion of lifelike motion. You see, it's a product of animation created when two-dimensional image are rapidly sequenced to create the illusion of lifelike motion. As you can see from the first diagram here, you can easily see that we have a drawing of a man standing, and while standing, it's a drawing oh, it's facing this side. It depend on your own angle where it's facing. On my own angle here, the character is facing this side, which is my right hand side. Then you can easily see that he was just standing. The drawing is standing. But then moving on to the next drawing, you can easily see that they sequence the creation of illusion, making the leg look like it's actually he wants to walk. Because if you look closely, you can easily see that one of the leg bent like it's about to walk. But remember, it is a drawing. The diagram that they are trying to sequence the creation of illusion of lifelike motion. Now moving on to the diagram, you can easily see that it's now work it's two legs are separated, giving the illusion that yes, it's already took about two different steps, just like how we human beings do. Now the first diagram also show the process of how we walk. When you take one step, you move the other leg. That's how the fourth diagram is. Then the fifth diagram showing the repetition of how we walk rapidly. Now remember, it's a 2D animation, but they created a rapid sequence illusion of a lifelike motion, making it seems like yes, this diagram is actually working. So we're taking a 5 minutes break, and we will come back to the virtual STEM studio. Let's take 5 minutes break, and we shall come back to our virtual STEM studio class. Thanks for joining us today. I remain your loyal mentor, facilitator, Miss Daniel Titilayo. So, welcome back to the virtual STEM studio class. Moving on, we have the 3D animation. The 3D animation is a process of creating movement image, creating moving image in a three-dimensional environment. Three-dimensional environment, 3D, three-dimensional environment, giving the illusion that these digital objects are moving through a 3D space. It literally when you are seeing you are putting image in three-dimensional environment. By doing that, you are giving the illusion that this digital object are moving through a 3D space. As you can see from the two images, this image of the lady of this cartoon character of the lady flying, she's in a 3D environment. So she is giving you an illusion that yes, this character is a 3D form. But the only thing that allowed the character to be in 3D form because is in a 3D environment. Same for the second image. As you can see from the second image, it's looking like the characters and the television are actually standing. But because they're in a 3D environment, three-dimensional environment, that is why they are giving the illusion that these digital objects are moving through a 3D space. Moving on to the next slide. Now, there is a software that we use in creating different kind of animation, and the name of the software is Plotagon. So, what is Plotagon? Plotagon is a storytelling tool for all ages. Depend on your age, you can use anybody can use Plotagon. With this app, you essentially have an animation studio in the palm of your hand because you can install it on your phone. You can go to your Play Store and download Plotagon Story. You can go on your app store, download Plotagon Story, and by so doing, you have the animating studio on the palm of your hand. If you go on Play Store, you can easily download Plotagon Story on Play Store. I would love it if we all go on our Play Store and download Plotagon Story. Plotagon Story, I said earlier, is a storytelling tool for all ages. And with this app, download, you can easily work you can easily work it on your phone or tablet. It's also on your app store. It's called Plotagon Story. So Plotagon Story is a 3D animating tool because the character the characters are in 2D lights while the camera is in 3D format. When I say the characters are in 2D light, I mean the character only moves in 2D light. But if you pick the camera comes in the 3D format. That's why I said the characters are in 2D light and the camera is in 3D light. So in this aspect, it gives you the illusion that Plotagon is both the 2 and 3D 2 because the characters are in 2D while the cameras are in 3D. So with this, you can easily create different kind of animation depending on what you want to create. Different kind of animation in what aspects. You want to create a story talking about gender inequality, you can easily use Pentagon to create it. And also Pentagon allows you to have a 1 month free section, 1 month free trial, and within that 1 month free trial you can easily test it out, check if it is what you actually want, if it is actually the kind of tool, animating tool you can use. Photoshop is so easy to use, and because of that I'm recommending it to all of us that let's endeavor to download Plotagon Story from our app store, Play Store, or from the if you go on Play Store, you can easily type Plotagon Story. If you go on App Store also, you can see Plotagon Story. So download Plotagon Story on your phones or systems or tablets or anything or desktop, and check it out. Check in our next class we'll be I'll be taking you through the process of how to use Plotagon story. On how to use Plotagon story. It is easy to use, it's very effective, and it's very, very good. Thanks for joining today's virtual STEM studio class. So today into for the rounding up, we will be taking questions and answer. Please let's endeavor to drop our questions in the comment section. Let's drop our questions in the comment section. So I'll be waiting for your questions. Questions. Okay, I have a question. The person said, is Protagon free? Yes, Protagon is free to download. It's free to download. The assets there are free, but you get this free opportunity within 1 month. That 1 month is just a free trial for you to explore around the tool and check, yes, if it's actually what you want. But after the 1 month, they tend to give you a payment slip for probably you want to continue using Plotagon. Remember, it is an amazing tool to use for animating. It is free to download. Yes, it is free to download. Questions, 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 questions. Okay, we have another question. Can I be export? Okay, I think the person is trying to say, can it be exported as an MP4 format? Yes, it can, because when you're done animating, you tend to see the exporting video and rendering video. When you export it, you can easily watch it like a movie. You can watch it as a movie and the like, so it can be exported as an MP4 video. Yes, it can. Questions and answer. Okay, question and answer. Question and answer. All right. As I said earlier, thanks for joining today's Virtual STEM Studio class. We really appreciate. Thank you. See you next week, the same time. The link will be sent out to you all. Thanks for joining today's Virtual STEM Studio class. See you next week, Saturday.